Hello, my friend. I don't even know why I'm telling this. I guess I just need to scream into the void where people might get it. My hands are shaking. My chest feels like there's a cinder block on it. I've been sitting in my car in the driveway for an hour because I can't bring myself to go back inside the house. Our house. Some context, I guess. Jessica and I have been together since college. High school sweethearts, the whole cliché. We built a life. 2 kids, 9 and 6, a dog, a mortgage in a decent suburb. The last couple of years felt different. Not we're growing apart different, but more like she was just checked out. I blamed it on her stressful new marketing job, on the kids being a handful, on me maybe not being attentive enough. Classic idiot husband move, right? The signs started small. She was always on her phone, but it went from scrolling Instagram to texting with this intense, secretive smile. Phone face down on the table, always. Passcode changed from our kid's birthday to something else. She started working out a lot, which is fine, but it was these sudden late spin classes, all girls' nights that happened with zero planning. Her stories were flimsy. Oh, Amber just called last minute, we are grabbing wine. But when I'd ask about Amber the next day, she'd get vague and change the subject. Then came the new phrases. She'd start sentences with "a friend of mine says." And this friend had opinions on everything: my cooking, our vacation plans, my relationship with my brother. This friend was apparently a genius life coach, a world traveler, and a gourmet. She started listening to a new podcast, some finance bro self-help stuff she'd never have been into before. She bought new lingerie, the tags lost of course, and when I hopefully asked about it, she said it was old and I must have forgotten. I didn't forget. But you know how it is. You love someone. You trust them. You explain it all away because the alternative is unthinkable. You tell yourself you're being paranoid, insecure. She'd snap at me if I asked a simple question like, "How was spin class?" God, why are you interrogating me? Can't I have an hour to myself? So I stopped asking. I made myself smaller. What a fucking fool. The big, undeniable proof. I found the receipt. I was cleaning out the car to take it for an oil change, something I always do. Under her passenger seat, crumpled up, was a receipt for a fancy downtown hotel restaurant. Dinner for 2. 3 courses, expensive wine. From a Thursday 2 weeks ago. A Thursday she told me she was at a mandatory client networking dinner. She'd even come home late, tipsy, and gone straight to shower. I held that little piece of paper, and my whole world went silent. The date, the time, the amount, it was a stake right through the heart of our marriage. I haven't confronted her yet. I needed to know more. So I did the thing I never thought I'd do. I waited until she was in the shower tonight, and I looked at our phone bill online. One number. Dozens of texts a day, calls that lasted hours, late into the night. Calls made from our driveway, from the grocery store parking lot, from the spin class, that doesn't even have classes on Tuesday nights. She's still in the shower now. I'm in the car. I have to go back in there. I have to look at her face. So I went back inside last night. The house was quiet, just the hum of the dishwasher. I could hear Jessica in our bedroom, probably moisturizing, or whatever her 45-step routine is. My heart was hammering so hard I could see my shirt moving. I walked into the bedroom. She was sitting at the table in her robe, scrolling on her phone with that same little smile. The smile died when she saw my face in the mirror. "Mark? What's wrong? You look pale." I didn't say anything. I just walked over and placed the crumpled hotel receipt on the vanity next to her hairbrush. Then I put my phone next to it, screen open to the phone bill page, the number highlighted. She stared at the receipt. The color drained from her face. It was the most genuine reaction I'd seen from her in months. Then her eyes flicked to my phone, and her expression changed. It hardened. The mask went up. "Where did you get that?" she asked, her voice cold. "Under your passenger seat. From the Grove Hotel. Thursday the 12th. The night of your networking dinner." You had the sea bass, right? And the Cabernet Sauvignon. She was silent for a beat, then she scoffed. An actual scoff. Are you serious? You're spying on me now. That was a work dinner with Bradley from the Atlanta office. The company put him up at the Grove. It was a business expense. God, you're so paranoid. I pointed a shaking finger at my phone. And the 147 texts you sent to Bradley from the Atlanta office this week. The 2-hour phone call last Tuesday at 11 p.m. when you were asleep on the couch. Is that how you close deals, Jessica? By sending heart emojis at midnight. She stood up so fast her robe belt loosened. You went through the phone bill. That is a massive violation of my privacy. What is wrong with you? I can't have a friend. You've been so distant and mopey, Mark. Bradley is just a friend and a mentor. He's going through a divorce and he needs someone to talk to. You're making something sordid out of a friendship because you're insecure. I just stared at her. The lies were coming so fast, so smoothly. They were almost impressive. A mentor, I repeated, my voice flat. You bought new lingerie for your mentor. You take secret calls in your car for your mentor. You lie about your location for your mentor. It wasn't a lie. It was a work dinner. And the lingerie is none of your business. Maybe if you ever noticed me, I wouldn't have to buy my own, she shouted, her eyes blazing. She was going full offense. This was the strategy: lie, deny, and attack. I felt nauseous. The person standing in front of me was a stranger. Who is he, Jessica? Really? Because it's not just Bradley, is it? The phone calls from the gym parking lot when there's no class. Who is he? Her jaw tightened. She looked at me with pure contempt. You want to know? Fine. His name is Chase. He's a trainer at my gym. And yes, we've gotten close. Because he listens to me. He sees me. He doesn't just zone out and watch ESPN every night. You did this. You pushed me away with your boring, predictable routine. You want to blame someone. Look in the mirror. And with that, she pushed past me, wrapped her robe tight, and walked out of the bedroom. I'm sleeping in the guest room. We'll talk when you've calmed down and can act like an adult. I stood there, alone, listening to her footsteps down the hall. The confrontation was over. And I felt more shattered than before it began. I didn't sleep. I spent the night in our bed, which smelled like her shampoo, staring at the ceiling. The initial shock of the confession had a weird, calm clarity to it. The lying was worse. The moment she said Chase, it was like the floor solidified beneath me. The falling stopped, and I was just standing in the wreckage. Then, about 3 a.m., the feelings hit like a freight train. First, it was the mental movies. Unwanted, vivid images of her with some faceless, muscular guy named Chase. Laughing with him in a way she hasn't laughed with me in years. Him touching the small of her back. The hotel receipt. 3 courses, expensive wine. They weren't rushing. They were enjoying a full, leisurely dinner before going upstairs. I physically doubled over, a dry heave racking my body. The intimacy of it, the planned, savoring betrayal, was a special kind of torture. Then, rage. White-hot, blinding rage. I wanted to smash everything on her pristine vanity. I wanted to drive to that fucking gym and find Chase. I wanted to scream so loud the windows would break. But I didn't move. Because the kids were sleeping down the hall. So the rage turned inward, boiling into a stew of humiliation and stupid questions. Was I boring? Predictable? When did I stop seeing her? I started mentally reviewing the last 5 years, looking for the exact moment I failed. The mind is a traitor. By dawn, the rage had burned out, leaving cold ash. This was the sadness. A deep, hollowing grief. The woman I loved, the mother of my children, my partner, was gone. She'd been gone for a while, and I was mourning a ghost. I cried then, silent, shaking sobs into my pillow so I wouldn't make a sound. I was mourning our past, our future, the family photo Christmas cards that were now a lie. I was grieving the death of my best friend. When the kids' alarm clocks went off at 7, it was like being jerked back to reality by a puppeteer. I mechanically got up, showered, put on a mask of dad. I made Lucas and Emma pancakes. I signed permission slips. I listened to a story about a video game. The normalcy was surreal. Jessica came out of the guest room dressed for work. She didn't look at me. She kissed the kids on the head, said, "Love you, babies," in a sweet voice that made my skin crawl. She poured coffee into her travel mug. "We need to talk after work," she said, coolly, to the kitchen in general. "Are you coming home?" I asked, my voice gravelly. "Of course I'm coming home," she said, as if I'd asked the dumbest question in the world. "This is my home." And she walked out. The emotional whiplash left me dizzy. 1 minute she's confessing to an affair, the next she's acting like I'm the one causing a disruption by being upset about it. The bitchy narrative was set in her mind. Mark is the insecure, neglectful husband who drove poor, unappreciated Jessica into the arms of her attentive trainer. She was the star of her own tragic romance, and I was just the inconvenient background character. The numbness is setting in now. It's a defense mechanism, I guess. I feel detached, like I'm watching my life as a very bad TV movie. But I know this is just the eye of the hurricane. The decision of what comes next is looming. The day was the longest of my life. After dropping Lucas and Emma at school, I called in sick to work. There was no way I could concentrate. The house was terrifyingly quiet. Everywhere I looked was a memory she had now poisoned. The couch where we'd cuddled and watched movies. The kitchen island where we'd shared coffee and made weekend plans. It all felt like a museum exhibit for a life that was fake. I did two things, driven by a cold, clinical need to know. First, I looked up Chase. It wasn't hard. Her gym's website had a trainer roster. Chase Reynolds. Mid-30s, tan, blindingly white smile, arms like coiled ropes. His bio said he was a motivational specialist and a life enthusiast. I felt a fresh wave of nausea. This was the upgrade she'd traded me in for. A cliché with a protein shaker. Second, I called my older sister, Lisa. I've never been one to share marital problems, but I was drowning. I told her everything, the receipt, the phone bill, the confrontation, the name Chase. She listened in stunned silence, then erupted. "That selfish bitch," she kept saying. Her fury was a lifeline. She offered to come over, to take the kids, to let me stay with her. Just hearing someone affirm that I wasn't insane, that this wasn't normal, or acceptable, was like taking a first full breath after being underwater. "She's going to try to spin this," Lisa warned. "She's going to blame you, minimize what she did, and make promises she won't keep. You need to decide what you want before she gets home, or she'll try to decide for you." But I didn't know what I wanted. I was a pendulum swinging between, throw her out now, and what about the kids? The afternoon was a blur of pacing and staring into space. I picked up the kids, made them an early dinner, and helped with homework. Their normalcy was both a comfort and a knife to the heart. Emma asked, "Is Mommy eating with us?" And I had to say, "Not tonight, sweetie," with a smile that felt like a crack in my face. Jessica got home at 7. The click of her heels in the entryway made my stomach clench. She walked in, put her bag down, and gave me a look that was pure, weary annoyance, like I was a chore she had to deal with. "Kids in bed?" she asked. "Getting ready." "Good. Let's talk in the living room." We sat across from each other. She took a deep breath, as if she were about to deliver a difficult performance review. "Look, Mark," she began, her voice carefully measured. "I said some harsh things last night. I was angry you went behind my back. But I understand why you're upset. Here it comes," I thought. The pivot. The thing with Chase, it wasn't planned. It just happened. It was a moment of weakness. You and I have been like roommates for years. I felt invisible. He made me feel seen. It was a mistake. A mistake. A months-long series of secret texts, dates, and hotel dinners is a mistake. I stayed silent, letting her talk. "It's over. I ended it today. She said this with a tone of finality, like she was granting me a huge favor. You ended it, I repeated. Yes. It was a wake-up call. For both of us. We need marriage counseling. We need to reconnect. For the kids. She leaned forward, attempting eye contact. I love you. I love our family. This thing, it was a symptom of a sick marriage, not the cause. We can fix this if we both try. The speech was almost perfect. Take a sliver of responsibility, blame the state of the marriage, declare the affair over, and frame the solution as a joint project for the sake of the children. She was good. But I'd seen the phone bill. I'd seen the contempt in her eyes last night. When did you end it? I asked, my voice quiet. What? With Chase. When today did you end it? She blinked, thrown by the specific question. This afternoon. I called him. Before or after your 4:17 p.m. call to him that lasted 22 minutes. Her carefully constructed composure cracked. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. You're checking the bill again. This is obsessive. This is exactly the kind of controlling behavior that. Just answer the question, Jessica. Did you end it before or after that call? She stood up, her posture rigid. You know what? I don't have to prove anything to you. I'm trying to save our marriage, and you're focused on playing detective. I told you it's over. You can choose to believe me and work with me, or you can choose to be bitter and destroy this family. The ball is in your court. With that, she turned and walked upstairs, leaving me alone in the living room with her ultimatum. Her performance had confirmed everything. The lies weren't stopping. The affair probably wasn't over. And I was now the villain for not immediately accepting her generous offer to sweep it all under the rug. The numbness was gone. In its place was a clear, cold certainty. To be continued.